This video is on absolute value equations. I'm going to be solving this equation for x and then checking our solutions to see if we have extraneous answers. The first step in solving absolute values is to isolate the absolute value. So I'm going to box this up in my light blue pen to see anything I have to move away from it. So I have a 3 multiplied to it and a 4 added to it. I want to subtract the 4 first. So we will continue to have this 3 absolute value, 6x minus 9, absolute value is equal to, if I subtract the 4, I'm going to subtract it from that negative 5, not the 9. So I'll still have 9x, then I'll have a minus 9. Then we want to divide by the 3. So we will have this absolute value of 6x minus 9, absolute value is equal to. I divide each of these by 3 because they are not in the absolute value. The absolute value does not change from beginning to isolation. So 9x divided by 3 becomes a 3x. Negative 9 divided by 3 becomes a negative 3. We have now isolated it, and then we look to see if we can even continue. Because it's equal to an expression, we have to continue because we don't know if the x value would give us a positive or a negative. So we would have to continue. On the next step, what we'll do is we will write it into 2 different equations. So the inside will always stay the same. That will never change. We're just going to take away the absolute values. So the first equation we're going to write is the original just without the absolute values. So I'm going to write it over here. So I have 6x minus 9 without the absolute values will equal to that positive 3x minus 3. The second equation, again, I'm going to keep the inside the same, so it's going to be that 6x minus 9 is equal. But then we have to take the negative version of this. So it's that negative times the entire expression. So that entire 3x minus 3. So I'm going to simplify this to become, this is really 6x minus 9 equals negative 3x plus 3. So you have to make sure you do the negative of the entire expression that is equal to. Now we can solve. So I want to get the x on the same side, so I'm actually going to subtract the 3x. I'm going to write this out. I want to subtract the 3x from the right to the left, but then that also means I need to get the negative 9 to the other side, so I'm going to add 9 to both sides. That way, we'll end up with 6x minus 3x is 3x. Negative 9 plus 9 is gone, equals 3x minus 3x is gone. Negative 3 plus 9 is 6. Then I can divide by 3, and we'll get x is equal to 2. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm actually going to add the 3x to both sides, and I will still add the 9 to both sides. So we will have 6x plus 3x is 9x. Negative 9 plus 9 is gone, equals negative 3x plus 3x is gone. 3 plus 9 is 12. Divide by 9, x will equal to a 4/3. So we have our 2 answers, but now we have to check them. So the hard part on this is we have to check it into the original, not into anything that we changed it to. We have to put it back into the original. So I'm going to put in the first one, the x equals 2. So I have 3 times the absolute value of 6 times that positive 2 minus 9 absolute value plus 4 is equal to 9 times the 2 minus the 5. Now I can do this in my calculator, and I will show it in the calculator after I do this by hand. So we still have the 3 absolute value. 6 times 2 is 12, minus 9 is 3. Plus 4 is equal to 9 times 2 is 18, minus 5 is 13. So we have 3 times, the absolute value of 3 is 3, plus 4, is supposed to equal 13. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4, so 9 plus 4 is equal to 13, so that one is good. So I will show you in the calculator how I can do this. If I turn my calculator on, I type in, because these are all just numbers, I type in 3, then I go to my math button, go over to number, absolute value. I'm going to type in the exact same thing on the inside. So 6 parentheses, 2 close parentheses, minus 9. Then I'm getting out of my absolute value. So make sure if you're still said the ABS parentheses, you close a parentheses after the 9 as well. Then plus 4. Then the equal sign, I'm going to press enter. Then I'm going to have 9 parentheses, 2 parentheses, minus 5, and then enter. These two numbers are the same. That means it works. So on the second one that we have to check, so we have 3 absolute value of 6 parentheses 4/3 parentheses minus 9 absolute value plus 4 is equal to 9 parentheses 4/3 parentheses minus 5. Okay, so again, we can use our calculator because it's all just numbers, but I'm going to do it by hand first. So we have 3 absolute value. 6 times 4/3 is going to be 12. I'm sorry. 6 times 4/3 is going to be 8. I apologize. 8 minus 9 is negative 1. Absolute value plus 4 is equal to 9 times 4/3 is 12 minus 5. So we have 3 times, the absolute value of negative 1 is just 1 plus 4 is supposed to be equal to 12 minus 5 is 7. So we have 3 plus 4 is supposed to be 7. 3 plus 4 is 7, so that one is good. So again, I'm going to show you in the calculator how to type this in. So I'm going to clear this out because that was my first one. I'm going to type in 3 math, go to absolute number, absolute value, 6 parentheses, 4 divided by 3, close parentheses, minus 9. I'm going to get out of my absolute value, plus 4. Then I'm going to press enter. Then we get 9 parentheses, 4 divided by 3, close parentheses, minus 5, and I'm going to press enter. These two numbers are the same, therefore it does work. That means that our answers, both of our answers were correct. So x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 4/3. We do not have extraneous solutions on here because they both checked out. These are absolute value equations. You must check your answers because you could end up with extraneous, which are false solutions. You did nothing wrong. It's just that the equation will not allow it to be correct.